everyone, welcome to another episode of Maya Eileen Talks. Today we will talk about Seaquest, and my guest today is Tommy of Track Cannon. But first, a note of the host of this podcast. I would appreciate it if you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends and family. Seaquest DSV, also known as just simply Seaquest, is an American science fiction television series created by Rodney S. O'Brien. It aired on NBC between 1993 and 1996. In its final season, it was renamed Seaquest 2032, set in the near future. The year 2018 is the first season of Seaquest, and originally mixed high drama with realistic science fiction. The first two seasons, starring Roy Schreider as Captain Nathan Bridger, and designer and commander of the eponymous naval submarine Seaquest 4600. The ship reflects standing for Deep Submerged Vehicle. Jonathan Brandis portrayed Lucas Wolinchuk, a teenager computer genius placed aboard Seaquest by his father, and Stephanie Beckham portrayed Kristen Westhalen, the chief medical officer and head of the Seaquest Science Department. Her role in all this is reminds me of a bit of Dr. Crusher, and Jonathan Brandis, who played Lucas, reminded me of Wesley from Star Trek. So there's a lot of, and that's what you will hear Tommy saying, that it is basically Star Trek, but then on the water. In the opening episode of the third season, Bridger departed DSV, the Seaquest, and was replaced by Captain Oliver Hudson. I didn't like him. Played by Michael Ironside. Also present was a dolphin character called Darwin. I love Darwin. He was one of my favorite characters in this series. But also, he was the dolphin of Captain Nathan. And he just was one of the crew. I loved that. So, due to technology advances by Lucas, he could communicate with the crew. Steven Spielberg expressed interest in the project and served as one of the show's executive producers during the first two seasons. Productions of the first season was marked by disputed between the producers, NBC, and cast members, changed in the production staff, and an earthquake. The second season saw changes in the cast, as well as continued dispute between cast members and producers. The third season introduced a new leader, actor, and title. While initially popular, the season began to decline in rating throughout its run and was abruptly cancelled in the middle of the third season. That's true, I hated it about it, especially in the third season. The only few crew that we know from the start was the XO. Of course, Lucas, but Lucas is now a member. Really working member. Yeah, of course, he was a working member, but okay. He is part of the crew now. The Doctor, Darwin, of course. Darwin is between us. And, that's what I do love Seaquest. But it's not like It's in that way not consistent as in other franchises like Star Wars or Star Trek, and and that's a pity of it. Well, everybody, welcome back, Tommy.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Long time no see.
I know, right? I know. But we back to having some fun.
Yes, we do, and this time it is not Star Trek for a change.
Oh.
But this is just a side note. Sorry, guys, but I really want to know what your expectation is of the last season of Star Trek Discovery.
Ah, so yes, the last season of Star Trek Discovery. Now, you know how I feel about Star Trek Discovery.
I know it's
You
a
know?
problem, child. I know.
Yes. But, just like Star Trek Picard, it had a terrible first season and a terrible second season, but the last season was awesome.
Mm,
I'm hoping that they could take Discovery out with a bang. I'm really hoping they can do that.
okay. Okay. Yeah, that's yeah. Hopefully, I'm I'm with you. What you're saying with um the first fifth season, I couldn't ground it as Star Trek,
Hmm.
and the last season, I think it's last season, was warming up to it. And of
Yep.
course, everyone knows I love season two because of course, Pike, Una, and Spock. But
Oh yeah.
they made it a whole lot better. But yeah, I'm curious what they are going to do.
Oh, Strange New World's been kicking butt. I like Strange New World.
Yeah,
They've been
me
doing their
too.
thing.
Me too. So Seaquest. Um,
Oh,
you always say Seaquest is Star Trek, but then underwater, and I have to agree with that. To be honest, I really like Seaquest in a way. The first season was fine. Second
mhm.
season, okay. But the first season, I was thinking, they should have done more and better with it. And but okay, what was your first impression about Seaquest?
When I first started watching Sequest, I really just enjoyed the concept.
Hmm.
I enjoyed. Okay, well, we know very little about our oceans, just like we know very little about space. So they had they the having it set in that type of underwater scenery, in that setting, with that type of design of the ship. I really
I
enjoyed it.
like
It
the
it made
ship.
me want
Yeah,
to go. Oh, beautiful.
I really love the ship.
It was
Uh,
kind of like an underwater galaxy class starship.
yeah. But also like I think this is the only one that is not in space or not in air or on land itself. It was really undersea, and y- there are not many programs or series that is like Sequest.
Yeah,
And the whole enjoyment, what I was always happy about and really loved about Sequest is that the dolphin of the captain was also could also get into the ship. He
yeah,
was like what we see now in Navy and the Marines, etc. That dolphins are helping us out because they are that intelligent, but also you see that back in Sequest.
yes, you did. And and it was also it was awesome how they gave Darwin a voice as well because
Yes.
because they could have just kept it, okay, well, we have this dolphin that ever so often is kind of like a pet, it runs out and do things, but giving it a voice kind of made
Mm.
it part of the crew, I thought.
Yeah. That's what I love about this program. It's just we see similars from Star Trek and Sequest,
Hmm.
and for example, the captains are equally involved with the young protege. In this case, is Lucas, but in Star Trek, it's Wesley.
Yep.
And
Yep.
but it's the same. For example, with the Doctor. The Doctor is also scientific, and Beverly Crusher was in that way also with cybernetic, etc. Uh, instead, and we have of course like Lucas and Wesley, the two wonder childs of the series,
Yep.
and the fun.
And what was the guy who was the clone, I believe it was, the in
Oh
vitro?
yes, yes, I like him. I
Yeah.
really liked him.
It gave that outsider alien point of view, like the same way that they gave somebody like Data or Spock.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And also like I also have the feeling with the XO of the ship was similar to Riker.
Oh, that was my guy, man, Commander Ford.
Yeah.
He was a hard, but he was my dude. That was the same guy that was in the series 7 Days, the time travel show.
Mm. Okay.
Yep,
Yeah. Yeah.
he
So
was in that too. But I
yeah,
liked him as Commander Ford.
yeah, I liked them too. It was just so steady, and when they start changing the crew, I was thinking, why would you do that? And I know it is because of the network and the directors vs the cost of the program, but yeah, it wasn't the same anymore. What was your feeling about it?
But the one that I really wish that they had kept on was that lieutenant that used to always have the side hustles, the little businesses. Everybody used to go to him for like.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I really liked him, but they ended up replacing him with Dagwood. But I like Dagwood, but I wish they could have found a way to keep that guy in there. He brought a certain
Mm,
level of comedic relief to the episode.
mm,
He was like the pork.
yeah. Talking about the episode, what do you think about the whole storyline of Seaquest?
Okay, right. So I have mixed feelings about it.
Mm,
Now, there have there were some episodes where I was like, "Oh, that is great!" Like when they found the Library of Alexandria and all that kind of
mm,
stuff, right? Where they ran across the underwater aliens, that type of
mm-hmm,
stuff.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Those types of things to me was like the highlights of Sequest. But when they start doing things like, okay, well, this faction against this other human faction, and
Mm,
that's in the politics of Earth. I was like, okay, well, what about the what about the underwater exploration, man? Y'all could have done, Krakens, all types of things. But overall, yeah, I thought that the storyline, them being underwater, you know, uh, basically being the Starfleet or the Seas Federation, police, I thought that was a great concept. But I wish they would have kept it more towards the exploration.
yeah, me too, me too. Um, let's talk about the first captain that they had. He was also the designer of the ship.
Yes.
What do you think of that character?
I thought that he was awesome because, normally you'll have the scientist slash military person, kind of like a Janeway or something like that, where they're able to blend science with their military requirements. But Bridger, he was more along the lines of, hey, I am a scientist. This is what I do. I don't really care anything for the military. That's why I left.
Mm,
They wasn't really allowing me to do the things I wanted to do. So he was real laid back, and like the only reason they got him in there was because they tempted him with his ship, with the ship that he designed for science and exploration.
mm,
So I like that. I like the dynamic that they gave the character, the reluctant, person to come on board, but he's military, but he's really laid back and a science officer. You know, um, he's wise and he can switch into the tactician when need be, but he prefers, the diplomatic, Picard approach.
Talking about different roles on the water, I must say that how how more we are in the seasons, how more military and how more dangerous situation there was in the episode. Uh,
Exactly. Right. He
yeah,
started making it pirate against, yeah, more militaristic.
and but I did love the episodes with that they were exploring and they found other planets, or what was that one episode that they found somebody who was missing so many years and he was still alive somewhere. Uh,
Ah, yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
kind of things, I like those episodes. The military, I don't really necessarily like them, the episodes,
Mm.
but it was more like also, and you're correct in that, it was more and more going to be based on militaristic and um, occupy an area or people or whatever, and it was not that thing of anymore of yeah, we just, this is the first ship that is really connected for on the water. We are
Mm.
staying here, and it is quite a big ship. It also reminds me a bit of the Orville, but then on the water.
I can see exactly what you mean, especially the front section. I can see exactly what you mean. Hey, speaking of the design, how did you like the other designs of like the little shuttle skimmers that they used to have? How
Oh,
did you like the technology of Seaquest?
it's interesting, and I can imagine that Lucas, of course, the young boy that is very, um, yeah, very bright, very smart, that he
Mm.
is so involved with the technology that he can, yeah, change so much. I don't want to say in the design, but more in the technology. And we see that also that he made that thingy for Darwin,
Yes.
which I
Yep.
love because I think how many people want to connect with their animals and have actually contact with them and they understand what their pet is saying.
Only thing my dog would say is bathroom. That's the only word he'll know.
Well, I do like that they involve Darwin so much because they give him missions that are very important and
Yes.
only Darwin could do. And
And that was
not,
dangerous too.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And
Yep.
it's not only that, but it's, I know it's just a beautiful example how people and animals can work together.
And see, that brings us back to Bridger because that's one of the main reasons that attracted him back to the ship. You was like
Mm,
the admiral, his homie was able. He was like, "Hey man, we even made it so that you could put your dolphin on board, man. We
yeah,
really
yeah,
supposed to start
yeah,
doing that." You know.
yeah.
So I thought the technology mimicked. They were really good at mimicking like amphibious life forms. Like the shuttles reminded me of fish.
Yeah,
They had the tail. I like that. I like the concept of it, the way that they were able to blend, the mechanical with the biological.
mm.
I really like that too.
You remember that one episode that Lucas was making his own little shuttle to race,
Hmm.
and it was not a complete failure, but it was like you see the whole crew was working together to get him finish it, and of course he designed it again
Yeah.
and to start. It reminded me again of Tom Paris. He did the same with the uh,
The
yeah,
Delta Flyer.
yeah.
Yep. Yep. Outstanding comparison. Yep. But we since Seaquest came out before Voyager, we gotta say that they got that from Voyager.
Yeah, you
I mean
think.
that Voyager, yeah.
And you know what the amazing part of this is too? I read that Steven Spielberg was the exclusive producer for the first and second season of Seaquest.
Yep. That's why they was really good.
That was
That's why
good,
they was
yeah. It's just, yeah, it's in season 3. It was really, yeah, it became,
darker.
yeah, but also, uh, yeah, I don't know, it, I didn't like it at all, and that new captain, I didn't like him.
Michael Ironside, he was real, just straight a soldier. But he
Hmm.
had no science. I want to explore, drive. None of that was in him. That's part. He was a great actor, but I'll say that was terrible. A terrible choice to put somebody like that to contrast Bridger. I understand they want to contrast. Okay, well, let's see what this other spectrum of a captain to do, but I think that really hurt the series.
Yeah, it didn't work.
Mhm. It was
Um,
like throwing a it was like throwing a 14th Doctor in there. I mean,
yeah,
Jodie Whittaker. It just didn't work.
hmm hmm so what do you think about the first season when they changed everything and it became darker? And I think it was in the first season as well that they had this episode that there was some kind of an alien or an enemy, and I think it was the Commander Ford had the bridge, and he needed to do keep the whole ship alive, but they were sinking and whatever else more, and that was a very very dark episode.
Yes, yes, it was.
Only
Yep.
what was his name, Deacon?
Yep.
He was the only one who didn't that he was the only one who was still capable to do his job in a way.
Yes. Yes. See, now if they had kept the stories like that, the mystery, the outer limits, the wonder type, you
Hmm.
know, c- so much so much that they could have done and focused on in that realm, but I don't know if it was studio interference like it usually always is, but
Hmm.
hey, we want you guys to do this. Yeah, but this is an exploration science show. Yeah, but we want fights and torpedoes. Oh,
And that changed the. Sorry.
oh,
So where were we? We were talking about Deccan and that episode, and that the sphere of the whole series was totally changing with all the military. Um,
you do you do know what was one of my favorite episodes of Sequest? Was when Dagwood went back to I guess the colony, the penal colony where they had
oh,
put the rest of his people.
yes. And he
Yeah,
had a
and
clone, right?
yeah, and
Yeah.
they had to they got caught up in that I guess the prison escape and hostage situation that went on right
Yes.
there. I thought that was a really cool examination
Mm.
of them. I thought that's one of my favorite episodes.
So what do you think about the relationship between Captain Nathan, Bridger, and Lucas?
I think that he became a reluctant mentor. I think once he started to see the potential in Lucas and the joy that Lucas had for just pretty much everything, that
Mm.
I think he was like, okay, plus this little boy just gonna keep bothering me anyway. Let me and he fixed my computer. By the way, that computer. that also doubles as a counselor. Awesome concept.
Mm, yeah,
That like holographic computer face that's inside Nathan's quarters. I think it has the face of his dad or something like that.
yeah.
I thought that that was just a really cool concept.
That was a really cool concept. Yeah, I have never seen it somewhere in another sci-fi series. To be
I
honest.
haven't either. But yeah, about like the end of season one. Oh yeah, I think that he had took Lucas up under his wing,
Mm.
and became really proud of him, the
Yeah,
things he had.
but I thought it was a bit of a weird thing that in season 3, Lucas wants instead now a real crew member. And
That surprised me.
yes, me too. I was really thinking, what the hell happened? Did I miss an episode or something?
Yeah, like what made him decide to do that? That's totally out of character right there. That was
Yeah, because
weird.
Lucas was always screaming and kicking to Nathan of that he wasn't his dad, and but Nathan wanted to him to have more responsibility in that way and be more with the crew, etc. And now he's wearing a uniform, and I was
Yep.
thinking, huh? What the hell happened?
You, it could be that he still had that crush on that lieutenant commander that he used
Mm,
to like watching work out. So he thought that was the closest. That was the best way to get close to her.
mm.
Yeah, that's the only way I can explain that one. But
Or
that wasn't.
or he was of age that he could join the navy.
But I would have thought he would have went more the scientific route.
Yeah, me
Still your
too. That's why.
scientific.
That's why I was really surprised that he was wearing it. He still does his computer and sign thingy.
Hmm.
Only it's now really under the navy. He wears a uniform. Talking about the uniform, I do like the uniforms.
Yes, they kick butt on the uniforms. All seasons they kick butt on the uniforms.
I really like them, and it's a bit of what you see nowadays, but also it reminds me of Enterprise.
Oh yeah, the jumpsuits.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
And I like the bridge layout too. The bridge
Yeah.
layout was cool.
Yes, and those chairs, those were
I'd
so
have fell asleep.
futuristic.
I would have fell asleep every time I think about that. If they would have looked over there at me, talk about red alert, I would have been knocked out snoring every single time. You know who else I like that was a standout character? The communications officer. I think he was played by Sam.
Yes,
Yeah,
with the
that guy.
glasses.
Yeah,
What's his name? I can't remember his name now, but I know who you mean. He was
yeah,
also the one when Darwin was ill. He was the one who noticed it,
yeah, yeah.
and it was
That was that dude was awesome. I really liked him. He
yeah.
brought a lot of heart to the show.
I really liked him too. He was a bit of a nerdy, but also like uh, bit of a comical relief in a way, cause he was
Hmm.
so yeah. But he at the end he loosened up.
And one other person, I don't believe we haven't said anything about him because he was such a cool cat. The captain's best friend, the chief of the chief
Yeah,
of the chief.
I wanted to talk about him as well. Yeah,
I loved him.
yeah. It remind me if you talk about Navy terms or whatever. There are some of the movies and series around Hollywood or whatever, and it reminds me of this old skipper that is
Yeah,
a backup for the captain, but also like the chief officer, engineering, etc. And um, yeah, I really enjoyed his friendship with Nathan.
and he was always just so laid back.
Mm,
I've been doing this at the seas for forever.
yes.
Waves don't bother me. Big octopuses don't bother me. Like, let's just do this.
You remember when Nathan came for the first time on the ship, and he was meeting that petty officer, and he the jumpsuit was a bit tight for the petty officer, and there was a very funny scene with that he put the zipper of the jumpsuit a bit down so he could breathe.
Yes. Or how he first met the second officer, that the lady who was always, a tight butt.
Mm,
He was sitting up. I guess he was sitting in her chair when he first came on the ship taking a tour,
mm.
and she was basically like, "Hey man, get out my chair," or something like that. And then the chief was basically like, "Yeah, Captain," and she changed the whole tune.
Yeah. That was funny too. Yeah, that was funny too. There are a lot of comical scenes in Seaquest.
Yes, yes, yes. It was. That's like I said. It's a underwater Star Trek to me.
Yeah, it was in a
It,
way.
it so many things that they did, and so many, like, I would not be opposed in any way if they were to remake Sequest,
Mm.
DSV. And like if they were to do it, nowadays, with the technology that they have nowadays to really render the ship in CGI, kind of like, they do with the re-rendered Star Treks and stuff like that.
Mm.
I think that they would do an outstanding job with that show.
I
That
thought there was a rumor that they were thinking of it.
I read about that a while back, and then you know how things go. You
Mm.
don't hear about it no more. It's always the good shows too. It's never. It's the bad shows. They seem to make those come back around all the time. It's never.
Okay. So if they were going to make a reboot, who as captain would you like to see?
Oh wow. Oh wow. Did you just hit me with that one? Oh wow. Oh ooh. Who would I like to see as captain of the Sequest? Man. Ooh. Okay. All right. All right. Since you put me on the spot, I'm gonna have to throw the question back at you. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know you.
It'd have to be somebody, a little older, somebody seasoned, you know. Um, it'd have to be somebody who's, scientific, who could do the techno babble and stuff like that. But who would be a good person? I honestly don't know. I would have to honestly think about that one right there.
The one that
Who?
is the one that is coming into mind is
Mhm.
Daniel Craig.
Oh, he would be cool. I don't know. He too smooth. He has way too much smoothness.
Yes, but I know
He would be.
he plays always those roles of being a badass, and but I do think he has, because he is at an age now that could be very verified like a captain like Nathan.
I see. It'd be a whole. He'll do an outstanding job, but it'll be a whole lot of underwater babies. It'll be a whole lot of underwater Daniel Craig. Wow. Who would?
I have
I don't.
I don't know who further. I have to think about that too. I have, or nah, I don't know. I was thinking of Gary Oldman, but hmm.
Ooh, he would do a great job. Gary Oldman. I think he would do a great job. And for some reason, I don't know why. I don't know why this just popped in my head. Peter Capaldi.
Okay,
I
okay.
don't know why, because I could see him being, um, for instance, don't you know the guy who plays House
Mhm,
from the TV show? Okay.
mhm,
When I the first my first introduction to him was in the show House, and
mhm,
you know how his personality is in that
mhm.
abrasive, never joy. Okay, come to find out, this dude is a big comedian, you know, all
Mm,
super joking, outside of that character. So um, that was one of the things I liked about Peter Capaldi, because that's one of the requirements for playing a doctor. You got to be silly, goofy, but fierce. You know what I mean?
mm.
So I think he did a great job with that, and I could see him being able to handle that. If and being the age to where I was like, okay, he's retired from the military, and I
Mm.
could see him designing the ship.
Ooh, you know who maybe also, yeah, I got two people in mind. One a very funny one, and one who could be a good one. Peter Weller.
Oh wow. Oh, Peter Weller. Oh yeah. Oh, you know what? I would 100% agree with you on that. I will definitely.
Cause
I could
I was
definitely see him
thinking,
there.
I don't know if you already seen the movie, but Top Gun Maverick, he played an admiral in there, a very nasty
Mhm.
admiral.
Yep.
But he does have the style for it, I think.
Oh yeah, Peter Weller has played some outstanding. Well, let's not even mention RoboCop, but he's played some outstanding characters. I could definitely 100% agree with you on that. I can see he has the gravitas, I think, to pull that off. I'm with you on that one.
And the other one I was popping in my mind, and that's because of his other character. I was thinking of Johnny Depp as Captain Jack Sparrow. I have no idea why I have that stupid pirate in my head as a captain of Seaquest.
You know what? If he could just break character if he could just break that Jack Sparrow character for a minute. I've seen Johnny Depp play some high speed
Yes,
roles. I could,
yes.
you know, but ever since he's played Pirates of the Caribbean, he's like every role I can see Captain Jack. I can see it. I
Yeah,
don't care what it is. I can see out there. There it is. It's coming out.
yeah. So you have that with some of the roles that's an actor have. For example, with I remember before with Daniel Radcliffe or even Patrick Stewart, they couldn't break off the Harry Potter role or Picard role
Mm, mm-mm.
because you just see them as them. And
Yep, that Kristen Stewart from what was it, Twilight?
mm-hmm,
Yep. Yep, people like that. I totally agree. They get typecast into those roles. You'd be like, nah, I can't see you. Nah.
yeah.
Mm-mm. We don't believe that, Harry Potter.
So
If all the way you want to, you still Harry Potter. Put the glasses on. Mhm.
so if you going the second character then Commander Ford, who will can replace him?
Ooh, ooh. I was about to say Jamie Foxx, but no. Let me see. Okay. First of all, we already know it's gonna have to be a black guy. All right, all right. And, I'm too busy to be the sexy black guy on TV. So, like, so let me see. Who would? Ooh, you know who would be my dream person? It would be oh, but he a little too old. It would have been a prime Denzel Washington.
Okay,
Mhm,
yeah,
mhm.
I can, yeah,
Yep.
I can see what you're thinking. That yeah, it's just you know I think there is a lot of people who can make a good cast for the new Deep Space Nine. Why the hell am I saying Deep Space Nine?
Because it's Star Trek underwater. Hmm.
I mean Seaquest. But they had some interesting uh, episode as well in the way of how people were thinking, and there were also like the episode of yeah, I don't want to say rank in society, but that was really I. Did you see any? We know that the makers of Star Trek giving us from time to time messages in the episode. Do you think Sequest has that as well?
I think it did. One of the biggest being environmental conservatism. Um, most of if you look, whenever they came out the water, if you notice, it was beautiful. You know, the sky was
Yes.
clean, the water was blue, because they were able to make habitats underwater. Overpopulation, went down. There was actually, besides the little factions that they were having, that they start, you know, highlighting later, it was actually on its way towards being a nice utopia. You
Mhm.
know, but
Mhm.
as far as the main social issue that Seaquest, I think, always really like just super highlighted was, yeah, environmentalism. Make sure that the water is clean, making sure that the air is clean. So that's
Yeah.
that's what I always got out of it overall.
There was this weird thing also as well when Nathan Bridger uh, was gone from the Seaquest. Why did Darwin still at the Seaquest? Because you would think, okay, Nathan Bridget will take um, Darwin with him, but Darwin was still in season 3.
Hmm. So I was thinking about that, right? I was like, I wonder if Nathan asked, "Hey, Darwin, man, do you want to come here? Or you want to stay here?" And to me, Darwin, because of how they built him up as a character, I think he would have been the type to be like, "Hey, I think I could do a lot more, here than I could
Mm.
do playing on the beach." I
And
think I think I
he had that beautiful connection with Lucas as well.
yeah, yep, yeah, because Lucas gave him a voice.
Hmm.
So and Lucas was always hanging out with him. But yeah, yeah, and he had homies that was on the ship. So I think Darwin would have stayed if Nathan gave him the choice. But I think Nathan would have definitely been like, "Yo, Darwin, man, you ready to go?"
I
It's just
think that was that point also in one of the episodes, latest episode when Nathan uh, was saying goodbye.
Mhm.
I thought Nathan gave Darwin the option to go or to stay with him, and stay on Sequest. And I think Darwin chose to say, okay, this is my job, and I will be a lot of time spending here. But when I don't have missions or whatever, he will visit Nathan.
Mhm.
Because I remember that Nathan also had those experiments that Darwin will help him.
Oh yeah, yep. I tell you what, that how was that as a research facility that he had, that Bridger had, that hut right there on the beachfront with the pier that went out.
Hmm.
Oh, that right there. Look, I don't know how they convinced her because I wouldn't have went back in the water. That right there would have been beautiful right there for me. This is I'm doing my science right here on the beachfront on a tropical island. I'm all right. I'm all right.
Didn't Bridger go get his retirement in that way? I can't remember why he left.
I don't either. I don't think they ever covered it.
Or was that the one with that became too military for him again, and that's why he resigned? I can't remember.
I basically when they had the season, what was it, the season trailer of the first episode, that the sequence was, premiere whatever again,
Mm.
and I seen a new captain. I was like, what happened to Nathan?
Yeah, yeah.
I think that I think that when Steven Spielberg left the show, I think that the actor that played Nathan went with him.
Yeah, yeah. But he came back for a couple of episodes, I remember.
Yeah. He came back for a few cameos there, hang out
Yeah.
with Darwin. Yep.
Um,
But Michael Ironside kind of took the reins, man, and kind of made everything uptight.
yeah. I must say I didn't like the first season. It was like exactly like with Arrow. The first 3 seasons was I loved it, and the fourth season when it totally changed the cast, I didn't like it from there on. I don't know if
Oh yeah.
did you have the same feeling with Seaquest?
Oh yeah. People don't like seeing their family members disappear. I think we've talked about that before. We get accustomed to these people. We get accustomed to
Mm,
their backstory, accustomed to their plots. Their story arcs. You know,
mm,
and then next time see them, they either don't explain or they give a little explanation that doesn't really fall into the content of the character that we've known as to why they're not there. It's kind of be like, oh man, I don't know, nope, I don't feel like getting to know nobody else. I don't trust these people. Because as soon as I get to know these people, y'all gonna change them again. Uh, so I think that's where it starts to hurt a show a little bit.
mm.
But you know, even when you think of shows like even SG1, they went through it when they took out Daniel Jackson and put in
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I was like
And that is one
even
of
though he was
I think
go
that
ahead.
is one of the reasons that I don't like the other Stargates because of that. I always say SG1 is always my favorite, and that's the story I like to keep for Stargate, you know.
Hmm.
And
Exactly.
I really have to, and I have never seen it to be honest, but Simon is convincing me a bit to watch it together with him, like Stargate Atlantis, etc. So I give it a try, but
Okay, first of all, let me tell you, Stargate Atlantis is awesome. Hmm. Stargate Atlantis is awesome. All Stargate Atlantis is awesome. Matter of fact, the only way Stargate Atlantis got better was when they had cameos with Daniel Jackson come over,
mm,
or Samantha Carter come over, or Colonel O'Neill come over. Well, General O'Neill come over. But Stargate Atlantis is awesome. Stargate Universe, eh, that's the discovery of the Stargate Universe.
oh dear. Yeah, well, I promised Simon to give it a try, so we will see.
Oh
Um,
yeah, you
is
will
there
not be disappointed on Atlantis.
Um, let's talk a bit about the design of Seaquest.
Hmm.
Is there anything you'd like to say about how it is built and designed, and of course, for example, the captain's quarters? Because I do think that the captain in season 3 has a different quarters than Nathan.
I think so too. I think they changed the quarters up a little bit. I think he made it more military as well because Nathan had it more civilian.
Yeah,
As far as the design, okay, the design of Sequest to me was totally alien from anything I had
yeah,
ever seen up until that point,
yeah,
and I love that. I love its functionality. I love the way they built the tubes through the ship to where Darwin could travel through the corridors and not
yeah.
just be restricted to the water base. I like the whiskers that they used that circled the ship that kind of acted as scanners and and extensions of the ship.
Hmm.
You know, I love the way that the bridge was designed. I love the roominess of the corridors. You know, it was just a beautifully. I love the way it looked. The way the skin
Yeah,
had that shimmer on it. It was just a beautiful, big old submarine ship that I just thought was awesome.
yeah. They're even more beautiful than the submarines that we know nowadays.
Oh yeah, way, yeah. That'll eat a few of those up. Yeah, not even waste room. Yes, that ship. Whoever designed that made it. It was just super sleek. It was like a big old Lamborghini under the water.
I was wondering, I think I read it somewhere, or maybe that I saw it somewhere in a documentary. I think it was the designer who designed the um, little flying things where in the Phantom of Menace from Star Wars. Those yellow little airplanes that where Anakin was in.
Oh, the X-wing.
Not the X-wing, but the other one. He said in it's I don't know what they call it, but he, I thought it was him that had designed it. I even think he's also one of the designers of in Star Trek.
You're gonna make me look bad if I was able to answer a Star Wars question correctly. Oh God, let me not start ragging on Star Wars.
um, yeah,
What did you think about the design?
I loved it. It was like all the roundings of the ship. It was like feminine, you know, like I don't want to say a mermaid, but yeah, it was very. I
Are
thought it
you
was.
try, are you trying to say sexy?
And the
No,
way
you were
it.
like you was like it's so feminine. No, are you trying to say sexy? It
In
was a
a
sexy
way,
ship.
in a way, it was a sexy ship. It was like normally you would say, okay, it's if it is navy or military, it's more like robust and it doesn't matter how it looks like, and that's what
Mm.
I love about the Orville as well. It is very it's not looking that militaristic. It's more like I said, it's more feminine in a way.
Yeah, it doesn't look threatening.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah. If I was somewhere up underwater and and Seaquest rolled up on me, I would be like, oh wow, that is beautiful. Let me talk to it.
Mm.
That they designed it very well.
Yeah.
You know, I liked it.
Yeah. What do you think, by the way, about the doctor? Because we haven't talked about her yet, but.
Oh, the doc. Look, let me tell you something. I love a person who speaks their mind and they don't care.
Hmm.
Like Bones, just like Bones.
Hmm.
Bones don't care. She was that type. She stood up for her team. She knew her profession. She was confident. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um, she she stood her ground, but knew when to concede. We'll put it that way when it came to the captain. She wasn't always just a headache, but when she did say something, you was like, okay, like she let me examine this because there's probably gonna be some merit to this. So yeah, I liked her. She was very intelligent, very strong. I thought she was awesome.
Then she had some kind of a relationship with Nathan.
I think they was trying to lead it up to that. I think they was starting to try to, because you can't have two characters on the screen of opposite sex and
Hmm.
not start to develop something for some strange reason romantic in them. You know,
But I thought
that.
they knew each other also before they came to Seaquest.
Oh no, I think that was the first time that they met when they
Okay.
first was on Seaquest. I think that was the first time he had met her. And I think he had liked her abrasiveness too, because I think she was cussing out Commander Ford.
uh, but what I also like about her is that she is like a mother figure for Lucas.
Hmm.
And I think that reminds me again with the connection between Wesley Crusher and his mother.
Man, first of all, what kind of parent are you to just go be like, hey, kid, just go get on that submarine and yeah, I ain't gonna never come visit because I don't ever remember nobody coming to visit them. But
Hmm.
you just go get on that sub, man, and get out of here for a while. But yeah, she was yeah, they had that Wesley Crusher and Dr. Beverly Crusher dynamic. And actually, if you want to include Nathan and Picard, as Picard in that situation too. But yeah, she was, yeah, yeah, she was awesome. She was awesome. She was strong, like I said, intelligent, and really cared for her team.
So, is there anything you like to say about the whole series or characters?
Of course, I like to say for anybody who's listening to the people, you need to check this out. If you like Star Trek, if you like exploration science, you know, don't not something that you're gonna be in for 4 5 seasons, nothing like that. But if like something that's exploration, something that's um against what you would normally see, then definitely check this out.
So I took a look on IMDb what the overall score of rating of the series is, and that is a 6.7. What would you give it?
And I'd agree with that. I would definitely agree with that. 6.7 out of 10. I agree with that. Hmm.
Okay, good.
Like I said, it starts tripping later on, when they start changing people up. And, start changing up the plot line and everything like that. Because other than that, I would definitely give it like a straight 7.5 or an 8.
Hmm.
But um, yeah, for concept alone. But yeah, I agree with it. I agree with IMDb's on that. What about you? You agree with that?
Um, yeah, I think it's a good concept. Uh, they could have done a bit better with the screenwriting, to be honest.
Hmm.
But okay, it's we can't forget it also. Was it in a series in the 90s?
Yep.
I believe so. Yeah. So we can't complain at that in a way. So yeah, I think that's a good rating in a way.
Oh, yeah, definitely, definitely.
Well, Tommy, thank you very much to join me again.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
And for you guys, a little bit of a spoiler already, because in about 4 weeks the episode of Andromeda is coming online, and Tommy will be my guest again.
Oh yeah.
So sorry to say this, guys, but every time I think of Andromeda, I think of the Captain Hercules. So this is going to be fun as well. Wasn't Andromeda also in the spirit of Gene Roddenberry?
I believe so.
I believe so, yeah. But okay, um, it's time for me to rewatch that. It's because it's been a long time ago I watched that, so I have to go get refresh my mind again.
You and me both. Yes.
Okay, good. So, Tommy, if I don't speak you anymore before the new year, I wish you a very Merry Christmas.
Likewise, likewise.
And of course,
You dressing up the dog as a reindeer?
I was planning on it, but if you won't let me, I don't know. I tried to, but okay. And of course, a Happy New Year.
Yes, ma'am, and likewise as well. Happy New Year's.
So, yeah, we will talk to each other soon, because I think we're still gonna have fun for the next year, of course. A lot to
Oh,
discuss still.
we got many more good podcasts coming up. So yeah, we gonna definitely be talking quite a lot.
All right. Well, thanks again.
Like, you are welcome, ma'am. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for listening, and join me in 2 weeks for a new episode of Maya Eileen Talks. The next episode is about Wednesday. Of course, the Netflix series of the Addams Family. You can also find Maya Eileen Talks podcast on Spotify, Anchors, Google Podcast, Amazon Music, and of course on the YouTube channel and Facebook group. I also have 2 other podcasts called the Dutch Ready Room Podcast and Girls Talking Track. The Dutch Ready Room Podcast is a podcast for all the Dutch Trekkies to talk about everything Star Trek. Of course, this will be spoken in my native language, Dutch, and is a whole video podcast. You can find the Dutch Ready Room on the Facebook group or the YouTube channel. Girls Talking Track is a Trek podcast that I used to do with my good friend Amanda, but since her passing, I'm doing the podcast alone. So I'm still looking for another Trek friend who will and have the time to recap with me every 2 weeks an episode of Star Trek. At the moment, I'm recapping season 3 of Star Trek TNG.